We are live and we are here. Man, this is gonna be a great show. This is a little a little strange because this is a place that we thought that we are gonna do just for a haunted object in this place, and we turned around and saw that there was way more stuff going on here. So we decided to change up doing it as a location. The Belcourt Castle is not Not gonna disappoint, I think, tonight. It's gonna be great. Dave is running a little behind, it seems, so I'm just kinda sitting over here solo. But while I'm sitting over here on the solo, I think I'll go ahead, run the intro, and we'll get running on this, and, yeah, yeah, let's get into Belcourt Castle. Oh, there's Dave.
I made it.
He's here. He's here,
I made it. I made it.
Yeah. What's up, brother?
It's been a long week, bro.
I bet. I bet. I was just gonna hit the intro and start getting into this place. I was just gonna
Well, brand new intro. So
brand new intro. Yeah, that's right.
I had to
They
start from
over.
scratch. So yeah, it's spanking new. New music, new thumbnail, everything.
Oh damn.
So yeah.
Well, probably looks pretty much the same.
Well, I tried to keep it as normal as possible, but
yeah.
Are you ready for the intro?
Yeah, I'm ready, brother.
All right, let's do it. Spirits of Spirits podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh, I liked it. I like it. I like the little the back effect with our logo. That was awesome, Dave. That was awesome. Well, welcome everybody into another episode of Spirits of Spirits. That's right, episode 14 of season 4. This is going to be the Belcourt Castle. The dragon's milk is already starting to take effect. I am your host for Ghosts, Mr. John Watkins. And of course, everybody knows and loves the host with the most, who's going through the shit show, Mr. David Lowe. You see how I made all that rhyme, Dave? You see how I did that?
Going through the shit show. Yes, the currently unemployed host with the most.
You know, I know, like I told you earlier, I know that feeling, brother. It's not a good one. Especially when you're a person. I know how you are. You worked your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then when someone says you can't work no more. Oh, what?
and there was nothing wrong with the work that I was doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been doing the same thing for 28 and a half years, and they went, "We're good. See ya."
Good. Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of kicks you in the nuts.
Yeah. So I'm just thankful. I got. I don't make the money.
Don't leave me.
I'm not even close to what the money I was making. But at least I got something that doesn't make me freaking hurt so damn much. Kira,
Hello,
how
Kira. Good to see you.
doesn't break my body as much, although the pain has not been good lately. It kind of sucks. But
Yeah.
And there's Miko. What's up?
Well, where there's one, there should be two.
There should be two.
Mika. I was wondering. I was like, "Where's your sister?" No. But no, God, I love you girls. Thank you so much for being on the show with us, and I'm looking forward to doing the next TV series with them. We're gonna be doing a live stream of the series Them, but we're still tossing around when we're gonna get started. Hopefully that gets going. We're gonna
that is an interesting, like, if you're into any type of true crime, horror, thriller, suspense type movies or television shows, that is up there with the best of them. I mean, they season 2 just came out. Season 1 was phenomenal. Season 2 is looking to be the same.
Amy.
And
Amy approves.
Yeah, it's good. I put it up there. It reminds me of when American Horror Story first came out and how good that was. I lost interest in American Horror Story. I think it just got too to me. After third season with I think it was The Covenant that was the final one I saw. Because I like the Freak Show was pretty cool. But that's a good show. I think you guys are gonna enjoy discussing that one. That's gonna be good. But man, let me tell you, Belcourt Castle. I know you're kind of starting from scratch with your histories and the intros and outros. So I can't wait to see what the history looks like. I know you tried it on the setup that I'm using for like the backgrounds, and you're a little disappointed because it was one hand, like you said, having one hand tied behind your back.
Yeah. I mean, I kept it though, because it worked. It did the job. I had to reformat it. So I basically took the video from Clipchamp and put it in Camtasia, reformatted, re-rendered it, and it went from 500 megabytes in size to 38.
Oh,
megabytes.
wow.
And I made no change to it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Same damn thing. So I'm like, okay.
All right. I'm gonna have to get Camtasia.
I do. I left American Horror Story after Coven also.
See,
but I came back and I liked Hotel, and I
like here.
I've heard
that one.
I heard the new season, the last season that came out, was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah, don't it can be.
Yeah, we'll have to finalize the date. Yeah.
But
that's fun. I love working with them.
Please stop.
Oh, I guess I have to stop. So we have to stop talking about what we're talking about. Just talk about somebody's being pushy about Belcourt Castle.
Yeah. What are you drinking tonight, brother?
I'm going. Whoops, that's not the open one. So I'm going with the Singtel. I went with my favorite.
Oh, there you go.
Because I deserve it. So,
yes. I went with the good old fashioned. Some brought the dragon's milk back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's yummy in the tummy. Let me tell you. Very pushy night. Yes. Left when Jessica Lange left. I could see why people do that. But before we really get into Belcourt Castle, we do want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Spotify for podcasters. It is a great place to start your podcasting careers because it is completely free. They also let you continue on with your growth, and as you grow and gain more followers, they help you out monetarily by helping you out with sponsorships. So it's not only a good place to start, it's a good place to keep on going and keep creating. And because of Spotify for podcasters, you can listen to our lovely
bring it to me,
like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio, and of course Amazon Music. So we do appreciate you, Spotify, for podcasters out there for doing that. They keep revamping things, so I keep having to relearn some stuff on there, but it's amazing. They even have teams now. I sent Dave the link. He hasn't answered to it, but I did send him the link.
I did answer it, but since then my my computer's become a paperweight, so we're gonna have to probably start that over.
Yeah. And of course, thank you to StreamYard. StreamYard is why you get to see our lovely faces on all your favorite places that you like to watch your streaming. Places like YouTube, like where you can find us at Spirits to Spirits, or Facebook, where you can find us at Spirits to Spirits JD, and even Instagram, which is Spirits with Spirits 13. And folks, please don't forget, Dave posts all those lovely history videos that we show on the show on our TikTok channel at Spirits 13 over there. We're loving the following. I don't know why we're shadow banned.
What do you mean?
On utilizing it anyways. So I wanted to get that fine print out the way and thank everybody for that. And of course, thank you everybody that listens and watches, whether it be live or the replay. We enjoy you. We love you. And you just make the show so much more funner. All right, Dave, let's get into fucking Belcourt Castle, because after doing the research of this fucking thing, I was like, holy shit, I'm glad we decided not to just do the fucking chair. Because this place is fucking, I was like, wow, I don't know how it's going to score. I might have underscored it, might have overscored it. I'm not sure. Probably did a little of both. But this place, I was like, wow, why have we never talked about this place? And to find out, I think Sean's been there. Ghost Hunters has been there. I know we're not big fans of them because they, don't respect the property that they're in. Sam and Kobe have been there. I haven't seen Destination Fear there, but there's a lot of prominent people that we like to watch and listen to that have been there, which was freaking fantastic. And I think this is going to be good. I think this is going to be a really good show. Never heard of the location,
dude. We never heard of it either.
No,
it was like we were just kind of looking at stuff, and I was like, "Hey,
looking for haunted objects," and Dave found
haunted objects, and came across the chairs. And then I was like, okay, that's not the only haunted object in this place. So it's really good. And I don't know if this is fortunate or unfortunate, but the history video is 7.5 minutes long because there's a lot going on and a lot more has been introduced to the property.
Yes.
A lot more has been introduced to the property.
Yeah, thanks to the.
Why are you here?
My name is Helen.
The Tinnies, is that their name?
Yeah.
The Tinnies, because they're bringing their collection in. It's a phenomenal.
It's been amazing. But so let's take a look. By your command, John, are you ready? Are you ready for the history of Belcourt Castle?
Yeah. Let's watch that 7.5 minute video and see what's going on here. History
breaking down the haunts because it's been reported that there are 15 known spirits haunting the location.
Yes. Yeah.
So without further ado, let's take a look at the history of Belcourt Castle. Check this out. The Belcourt Castle is one of the most haunted mansions in the United States. This 27,000 square foot villa had its own share of spirits to begin with, but a previous owner had introduced artifacts from over 30 countries, some with spirits of their own. Let's take a closer look, as this place seems like a paranormal perfect storm, where attached object meets haunted house. When prominent American socialite and coachman Oliver Hazard Perry Belmont commissioned architect Richard Morris Hunt to design a mansion with a similar style to the hunting lodge of Versailles, built for King Louis XIII of France. Construction was completed in 1894, 3 years and $3.2 million later. In 1896, Belmont gave the house to his second wife as a wedding gift. Mrs. Belmont, also known as Alva Vanderbilt, was a prominent figure in the women's suffrage movement and the designer of a neighboring mansion. The Belmonts used the castle as a gathering place for the social elite, throwing lavish parties, balls, and social events which attracted the most notable figures of the time. When Oliver passed away in New York of sepsis in 1908 at age 49, Alva moved into Belcourt and made changes to its design. Alva passed away in Paris in 1933. And 80-year-old Perry Belmont inherited the mansion as Oliver's older brother. In 1940, however, all the movable collections were taken out of the place, and it was sold to George Waterman, who planned on turning it into an antique auto museum. He paid Belcourt $1,000 for the property. Waterman began restoring the mansion back to its original design, but city officials decided that zoning laws wouldn't permit an auto museum, and Waterman was forced to sell it in 1943 to a man named Edward Dunn. But Dunn never lived at Belcourt. Instead, he rented it out to the military, who had a base nearby. They used the stables to make equipment repairs. And after the war, they boarded up the windows, and Belcourt sat abandoned from 1948 until 1954. As it passed through the next two owners, nothing but the caretaker lived on the property. Benny Cullen was hired by Dunn to take care of the place as best he could. He came up with the idea of pretending to be a ghost to scare kids off, and word spread that Belcourt was haunted. While he succeeded in protecting the property, this tale of the paranormal made the place difficult to sell. One of the next two owners was Elaine and Louise Loriard in 1954. Who bought Belcourt for $22,500 and used it to host the Newport Jazz Festival. The mansion was in such a state of disrepair that they ended up selling it to the second owner, Harold and Ruth Tinney, in 1956. After restoring the former Jerry estate built in 1899, the Tinney family took it upon themselves to restore and renovate Belmont. After numerous changes and renovations, they were able to restore it to its former glory. There they renamed the project Belcourt Castle. Then they added their collection of antique and European artifacts from over 30 countries to the original decor and began letting the public in for guided tours. In 1975, the Tinneys transformed the Northeast reception room into a chapel. And in the 1980s, they enclosed the front of the property and used a Victorian cast iron gate that was brought from another property. The Tinney family called Belcourt Castle home for over 50 years. In 1969, the Tinneys founded the Royal Arts Foundation, with the goal of preserving lost arts, as well as offer the public viewing of exhibits. But another kind of tour was added to the mix, one led by psychic medium Virginia Smith. Family had been treated to the full spectrum of paranormal activity, but declined to share their experiences until Virginia showed them the proof that what they were witnessing was real. The Royal Arts Foundation then hired her to help raise funds for the preservation of Belcourt Castle. Harold Tinney passed away in 1989, and Ruth in 1995. The son and daughter-in-law continued the tradition, and even after the son passed in 2006, the daughter-in-law still lived in the castle and offered the same museum and paranormal tours, plus opening up the first floor to the public for events. In 2008, she was forced to hold an auction in order to pay for repairs and upkeep. In In 2009, Belcourt Castle was put on the real estate market, but she was cautious not to sell it to the wrong people. It wasn't until November of 2012 that Belcourt Castle was sold to Carolyn Raffilian in her hope to restore Belcourt Castle and open it up again as a museum. Is this a perfect storm of activity? Or are the voices of the past just echoes from the cliffs of its rich history? As we review Belcourt Castle, we'll make sure to watch our step either way.
That was still good. I know it's long, but that was good. I know. Oh, it took a lot more work than what you normally do.
So I was not about to do that again, bro. I was like, I want to redo it because I wanted to add stuff, and the timing on some stuff was off. I was having issues with the audio because I couldn't change the feed, or I couldn't change the gain on a whole lot of stuff, or I couldn't split it up to change the gain here and lower it here and raise it over here, like I can do with Camtasia. But now that I have Camtasia back, my baby has returned. I can now do this again. So that's the one and only one that I will do in Clipchamp. I now have Camtasia back in my
Brother
quiver of arrows to be able to continue doing this.
Yeah.
And but the history of this place is phenomenal.
beware.
And there's a reason for that word right there. So yeah, Rich came to see us in Facebook and on YouTube.
Yeah.
So brother, we love you. Thank you so much for jumping in and saying hey.
I just want to point out one thing. So they built this thing for $3.2 million, which I saw you put the inflation bracket up there. That equates to 116 or 162 million dollars today. Was it 116 or 162? So
it was 116.8 million
dollars. That's what it would take to build this place. 27,000 square feet of house.
Yeah.
And a dude bought it for
the house.
Yeah, and
That's
dude bought it for
including the land.
The dude bought it for $1,000, bro.
Dude paid $1,000 for it. And even the one the lower yards, they spent $22,500 and bought the whole thing.
That is just freaking amazing. Imagine buying that place for $1,000 though. I would live there. I would live there right now.
Yep.
Haunted is just
that's bonus. That's icing on the cake.
Yeah. I mean
that's exactly that's one of the things I'd like to have access to a property, whether I can buy it or not. But I'd like to have access to a property just so I can conduct multiple investigations on it, let the spirits get to know me. Because a lot of things with paranormal investigators is they can't spend a whole lot of time at the location. So, in the 28 days haunted and even paranormal lockdown, they're able to spend more time. And the more time you spend in a location, the more the spirits get used to you. And more importantly, your frequency changes when you're at a location to where you're more susceptible to that contact because your frequency changes to come closer to where they are.
Yeah. And like, I'll even point out to the one where they spent a week at Penhurst. That was a fucking amazing investigation. Different styles, people going in. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Yeah. I would be petrified of the heating and electric bill in a place that.
Yeah, that boy. Better get some solar panels and that some bitch. Because
look at the grand ballroom, which is like 70 feet long. Literally has a medieval freaking fireplace in it. Where you can have those freaking 10-foot flames shooting up into the fireplace. I mean, I would love to have something like that. I mean, I'd have to win Powerball to do it, but but I tell you what, Dave wouldn't have to pay a mortgage anymore.
Well, no, thankfully my house is paid off.
Yeah.
but
You know what I mean?
but the property taxes and insurance are like a mortgage here in California, especially up here in fire country. My insurance is crazy.
Oh yeah. I bet that's
it's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Every year. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Holy crap, dude. I'm like, really?
That's a place. Well, they had 30 speaking of upkeep there, Mika, they had 30 live-in maids.
Mm-hmm.
They had their own place to stay in this house.
Watch out for evil.
I'm stuck.
This place is huge. I mean,
watch out for evil. I'm stuck.
The house itself is over an acre big. I mean, and here's the craziest thing about how big this place is. This was a summer house. This is a summer house for someone when it was built. This is, let's go spend a week at the villa and go ride the horses house.
Yeah. Yeah. This was the vacation home. This was their summer house where they were like, let's go to Belcourt. Man, I'm like, you asshole.
But this place is just huge. It's amazing, and it's
I wouldn't be able to find my cats.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You seen Sylvester? I haven't seen Sylvester in 5 days. This is why
I haven't even heard
food dishes Sylvester. And water all throughout. Yeah,
crazy stuff. But I mean, this is a beautiful property.
Beautiful property. You know, I don't like the term of calling this a castle, though. I know they call it the Belcourt Castle.
This is a mansion. This is a mansion.
This is a mansion. There's nothing on the outside that screams to me castle. Besides the fireplace, really nothing on the inside screams to me castle. That's just beautiful right there.
It's gorgeous. This is how I thought the Winchester house would look like.
No, that she was crazy, bro.
But it doesn't. I was expecting, and so is my wife. Oh, the Winchester house the Winchester house is not like this. It's built for a woman who's like 4'6". So everything's really small. Stairs are weird. And there's the fireplace.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at those flames shooting out of it. And I love that. I mean, I'm, me and you are already married, but imagine that's a like destination wedding place, right? Like,
right.
Okay. Let's think about this, Dave. If we could talk our wives into going and get married in this beautiful location and it be haunted at the same time, this is like the best spot in the world. I mean, maybe Estes Park, and the Stanley, maybe
Stanley.
But this is a spot where I give my wife this beautiful location to get married at, and I get to deal with a ton of paranormal activity that's happening. And I mean a ton. And I know the research that I did, and Dave always seems to have.
I did not believe in
more.
this.
What year is it?
2024.
2024. And so I can only imagine the extra stuff that Dave found, because he always finds a little bit more than I do on stuff. And there's my wife laughing. Did you notice
laughing about the location? Like, haha, yeah, you think you're gonna go? But see, this is when, if I say, hey, honey, we're gonna go to the Stanley Hotel to renew our vows, and my wife would be like, no, that place is haunted. But if I was like, hey, Belcourt Castle.
Let's go to Belcourt
Go
Castle.
to Belcourt Castle in Rhode Island. It'll be fun. We'll have a great time. And then, oh yeah, sure. And then be like, wait, is this place haunted? Can I
John and Ceci will be there.
Ceci there?
Did you see I changed the thing on the bottom here where our names go? You see how it changes and puts more of like their face in there from their channel?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of cool.
That is. I dig it.
I didn't know it was going to do that when I changed it, so I was amazed when we popped Mika and Kira up on the screen there when they first started chatting. And I was all, "Huh, look at that!" But no, this place is crazy when it comes to paranormal. There is a ton of paranormal going on here, and
this is like we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and
I don't know where to start.
Okay. I know where to start. So
I know where to start. How about let's start that this fucking was built on top of a fucking guy who was forgotten.
Well, it was built on top of a graveyard. So then
they move everybody out, but they forget a dude.
They left a dude under the house.
And they just build the house over the top.
They built the house on top of him. That was exactly where I wanted to start. So we're on the same page, bro. Because this place was not only built on an old graveyard, but it was also built on an old battlefield.
That is correct.
So it was an old battlefield, in the Civil War or Revolutionary War. Revolutionary War. That's what it was. So it was a Revolutionary War battlefield. And then it was a cemetery it was a graveyard during the Civil War. And then they dug up all the bodies except for one.
Yeah,
I guess there had to be one token body left over.
Poor guy just gets left behind. Poor guy
just gets left. I mean, we talk about Cheeseman Park and how there's like 2,000 bodies.
Yes.
Under there. At least they got people to talk to. There's one dude by himself under the house going, what the hell, you guys? Come on. I mean, just you leave me here. It's like we would just ditch you, bro. you're stuck. But yeah, so that and they see him.
Yeah.
As an apparition.
Prominent in the actual banquet hall, which is actually said to be centered over where he was buried.
Yep.
Yeah. Older man, just wandering around. And it's crazy because the way they describe him, so like when you first hear about him, you're like, oh, this guy is a residual energy wandering the ground. But when they describe him and looking at you and things like that, there's intelligence to it. So it's like, how could you forget a body? I wholeheartedly agree with you there, Mika. Wholeheartedly.
They pull the whole cemetery. They pull the whole graveyard up. They leave one dude. That's just sad.
Top and Kira has it on the nose. On top of a graveyard, one left behind, already sacred ground. You say no, thank you. I'm like, thank you, please.
please and thank you. But that's the thing. Once you unearth a graveyard and move the bodies, that ground is no longer
sacred. It's been desecrated.
It's no longer sacred. It's
been desecrated.
It's no longer consecrated. It's unconsecrated ground now. So that means non-human entities can come over and see what's going on. So, but yeah, it was Virginia Smith, the medium who came in that identified 15 known spirits.
Yes.
And she says that the most haunted room in the house is the French Gothic ballroom.
Yes.
And that's the one I've been popping up every once in a while. That's this room.
Yeah. That's fucking amazing. I'm not big on the French, but man, their architecture is fucking amazing.
That's a beautiful room. I'd be like, whoa, if this isn't haunted, I'd be really shocked.
I would want no parts of that.
Yeah.
You love horror, Mika and Kira. Come on, this is like right up your forte. This is
Wait.
where you want to be at. The French Gothic ballroom
Mhm.
has had more things going on in it than anywhere else. I can agree with that statement.
Mhm.
But I don't think it's the most worrisome
No.
room there.
No.
It's I'll tell you the truth. And this was going to be part of our haunted objects series. I think the most worrisome thing in this is actually the king and queen chairs in this place. Diddle double, don't want anything coming home with
Hunt.
moi.
So they're good as long as it's on the screen.
Like, yeah, we're gonna leave it over there.
We're not gonna go there because that's we'll let Dave do that. Dave and John, you guys go and then let us know how it was. Which we're more than happy to fall on that sword. It's totally fine. Speaking of swords,
Yeah, speaking of swords.
No, I wanted to segue that, but I'm not. I'm going to start with
I
the
know where
monk.
you're going.
I'm going to
But
start
go
with the
ahead.
monk.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
You want to start with the monk. Okay.
I'm going to start with the monk. So there's a ton of artifacts that was brought by the tinnies to this
Yeah.
location
Yeah,
from like over 30 different countries.
Yeah.
And what they did was they turned an area of the house into a chapel.
Yes.
Francis.
Yes.
And there's Francis.
How's it going?
Francis followed us home to your house from Cheesman Park.
From Cheesman
We're
Park. He's
constantly
dark.
dealing with Francis.
Well,
And I don't think he's dark, but
I only get rid of the negative entities here. So Francis is still here.
Francis is still hanging out. So he's not a bad dude. He just wanted a different
He wanted to
scenery.
hold hands. He wanted to hold hands.
He held my hand. That was crazy. I was like, I'm feeling something touching my hand.
2 shows ago, it said put your hand out, and I did, and I felt something grab my hand. I was like, oh no.
No. You pulled a Mika and Kira. No, I'm out. He's still there.
He's still here. He just
He's
came
still there
on there again.
He just called out that he's still there. And this was when we did our 100th episode.
Back in
I was in Colorado, and we went over to Cheesman Park and just do a little daytime baseline reading and get a sense of the place. And
February, right? Yeah. Beginning of February.
Yeah, because February 2nd was our show. So I got there January 31st and stayed for a few days, and then we left. But we went to Cheesman Park, like I think it was on the 1st, like the 1st February.
Yeah, it was the 1st because I had my appointment.
You had your appointment,
and then we went from there. We went to Cheesman Park. Well, I ate some fucking awesome burgers, and then
dude, my wife took the spot, bro. That burger was so good.
It's so good. But yeah, we went to Cheesman Park. We got some awesome stuff. Dave got some great SLS stuff there. It was phenomenal. And while he was doing the SLS, you can hear Francis come through on my ghost tube talking to us. And he kept sitting next to Dave,
Hunting.
like he'd watch the EMF go off. And then we were like, all right, let's get out of here. And he wanted to hold Dave's hand, and held Dave's hand, and we're like, okay, well, you gotta stay at the park. And he's like, no, I'm coming with you. And he just hopped right in the truck and came home with us.
Yep. And then literally we're doing the show the next night, and Francis came through.
Yeah. I was like,
and was talking to us, and I was like, I think Francis came with us, and is still hanging out at your place.
He found a safe spot. He found a place where people will talk to him. and acknowledge him.
Yep.
And he
Imbecile.
and maybe we're stupid for doing it.
Maybe
but,
we're stupid. Like
uh,
I said, our stuff's being pushy today.
yeah, Mika says that would freak her out. I could see how that could
Get it.
freak some people out, but when you've been dealing with the paranormal for 40 years now,
Rosemary.
it's
Rosemary.
I don't want to say that you get desensitized to it, but you definitely get
Safe.
more inviting and understanding with it. And the things, the
Please keep
little,
talking.
yeah, I'm going to the little things that
Trying to, but you keep interrupting us.
the little things that normally would freak you out, like a bang in the night or something like that, just don't anymore. You expect to hear things, you expect them to come through, you expect that. The thing that bothers me is when they mess with my wife. That's a no.
Same.
She has woken up with scratches. She's woken up with I call it a demonic entity that was in my house, or non-human.
You shouldn't be here.
Posing as a child once, and there's a lot of things that's happened in this house.
The boy, and then the shadow figure I saw when I was there.
Yeah,
and it was
Give it back.
It was lit at least 7 feet tall.
Yeah, which is, I would say, that's kind of right around Top Hat size, but I think Top Hat is a little bit shorter than that. I think he's more like 6'3", if I'd had without his hat on.
4.
Yeah, without his hat on,
That's how I saw him.
Yeah. For a guy that's 5'8", that's still towering. So
for me, yes.
But but I also think that's the thing that has been traveling through the mirrors when I first got here and things like that. I think there was something
you've got a portal there that's bringing stuff, and I even went through that portal before I even went to your house.
Retaliate.
Yeah.
I was retaliated against.
Yeah,
because I was sent back home.
Yeah,
somebody did not want me there.
I about once a month I smudge my house. I clean out the negative in the house, and everything goes back to normal and for a little while, and then it builds back up because we talk about this, and so we give it power, right? And I'm a firm believer you only give it as much power as you feed it, and we feed these entities a lot, doing a weekly show, doing hours of research on the computer, talking about it, watching videos and documentaries on the stuff that we're going to be talking about.
Disaster.
We bring a lot of power to the entities around us, and so things ramp up pretty good. Dave's smart enough to have a barrier around his house, so not so bad over there. I don't. I think I'm probably a little too inviting to the paranormal.
I'm always here
in my house, and that can cause some problems in the house, but
it can be a double-edged sword.
But I'm a firm believer of what I was taught as a youngster with smudging, and smudging is not a way to exercise your house or get rid of everything permanently or anything like that. It's more just like sweeping your kitchen floor.
It's sweeping. It's sweeping your front porch. That's all it is.
Yeah, you're gonna get the dirt off for a second, but as soon as the wind picks up, it's coming right back. So I can smudge the house weekly and still have paranormal activity. So it definitely keeps things interesting inside the house. I can tell you, and I can tell when the wife's getting irritated by things that are going on because she'll start talking about it. It's cool because my wife has actually agreed to start doing ghost hunts with me. So she's going to be I would like to keep her as the camera holder, but I'm going to turn around when things are going to be needing to get recorded, and she's going to be running out of the building.
Yeah.
So maybe she'll
you're like, my wife has agreed to ghost hunt with me. Great. My wife has not. No. She goes, bye. You better cleanse yourself before you come home.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
no, she said she'd do it with me because doing it by yourself is I don't think is necessarily a good idea, right? Going
No,
I'm
into
stuck.
I don't
unknown
think
location.
solo. If I've done some solo stuff,
3
and
children here.
I mean, shit, even when you were at the antique shop by yourself, even though we were live and I was on screen with you, I thought was actually a little dangerous. But you brought your protections with you, so it didn't mess with you. So, well, you fucked up that one time, but you kind of
oh man, I basically trapped myself with it, and
yeah, that was
it messed with me. But but I figured it out. I learned a lot from that experience, and I didn't even know it at the time, but my wife was waiting right outside the building.
yeah. Yep. You better not do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get
you
nailed
bet. I told you not to touch anything.
up. Yeah.
I gotta
But
touch it. But anyway, let's get back to the monk because I love this story. So there is a German wood carving of a monk that was brought into the castle by the Tinnies.
by the tennies. Yep.
Yep. This male entity appears in full monk attire, brown robe and hood, wanders around wherever his statue is located.
Yeah.
Heart
Uh,
attack.
Oh yeah, I did experience that at the
Yeah. Yeah. I was
Yep.
gonna say, Dave. We thought Dave might have
That
been
was
having a heart
that was the part where we're like, okay, I am a little worried.
attack. Did
So
you call 911, Dave?
so he first appeared at the end of the bed and Donald and Harley's room, and that's the son and daughter-in-law in a semi-solid state wearing a monk's robe and hood. When his statue was located near the first floor ladies' room, his figure was seen walking out of the grand hall and into the ladies' room.
Yeah.
So apparently communicating through Virginia Smith, the medium, told her that he wished to be moved into the chapel. That's why I kind of mentioned the chapel earlier.
Yeah.
After being moved into the chapel, a visitor saw his solid form preparing for mass.
To the point she went and asked when mass was starting.
Yes.
Because
she went to the daughter-in-law and she asked when the mass was going to be held.
Starting?
Yeah.
I get to a mass held here. When's that starting?
Yeah. So I was like, dude, I'm like, that's like next level. That's Strand Hotel solid or Strand Theater solid apparition.
That's
you're like,
restaurant where the people were giving the ghost their orders. Solid.
Yeah. Or they're sitting in the theater and they were talking to the guy sitting next to him.
And talking to the guy sitting next to him.
Making friends and stuff, and all of a sudden disappears. Or the one that comes out of Savarnabhumi Airport and gets in your cab.
Yes. Yeah.
And
you put the luggage in the back.
You put luggage in the back and everything, and all of a sudden it's gone. Dude, I was jumping off a tangent. I saw a video on Paranormal Cut on Camera where this guy is an Uber driver, and you see the door open, the back door, and he turns around. He's talking to someone. There's nobody there,
but there's no one there.
But the door opens and closes, and he's like, "Oh, to this hotel, okay." And he drives to the hotel, and he stops and he turns, and there's no, and he's like,
"Where am I right?
Where the hell?" Yeah, I was like, "Dude, crazy." Yeah, solid apparition. That's rare. When we see those type of things,
there's very few that we've talked about. And like I said, I bring up the waitress at the restaurant. I forget which restaurant it was. It was, I think, season 2, maybe season 3.
Nobody knows.
Somebody knows. We recorded it. Yeah, food. They gave her food. They gave this woman their food order, thinking she was an actual waitress there.
Yeah,
and she took it.
And then they were like, Where's
my food? We ordered half an hour ago.
Her picture on the wall.
Yeah, her picture's on the wall. Yeah,
like, that's the woman who took her order. It's like, dude, that's from 1860.
Yeah, and then you have the Strand Theater where the guy's sitting next to him and they're talking to the guy about the show.
Yeah, there's like a handful of these where we're like, holy crap! I love it.
they're very rare
Yeah.
when you hear stories something like that, but they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And
It's like helpful touching. It's like when you're
helpful touching.
helpful
Hashtag
touching.
I'm
Hashtag helpful
still
touching.
making that
Tell
shirt.
your friends.
I'm just gonna put the small logo on here and just hashtag helpful
Hashtag
touching.
helpful touching. We're gonna have a shirt where it's gonna be on the shirt. I'd put it on the back. Hashtag helpful touching.
Or I
Idiot.
might do that Bigfoot logo one that I sent you not too long ago, and then just hashtag helpful touching. Spirit to spirits. I gotta get just the wording for our page. That's what I want. Is just that font for it, so I can keep using that font. But I gotta contact those people that you contacted for me, that school. So
He shouts.
yeah, I bet he does. But the apparition of the monk is freaking just phenomenal. Phenomenal. And it's seen in multiple different locations, everywhere his statue's at, but the solid apparition to the point where he's preparing for mass. So if you're preparing for mass, you're seeing him fully solid. Think he's a real person. But you also hear him, right?
My name is
he's
Joe.
going through his prayers.
Yeah, he's doing the
ready.
dominate me, she made me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You hear her.
solid audible apparition.
Yeah.
It is the complete version.
And I really like that because he was never solid outside of the chapel. But once the carving was moved into the chapel, he became a solid apparition.
It's like going home, man.
It's like now I've got the energy where I can fully manifest.
All right.
Because at first I'm like, you're walking in the ladies' room, you're kind of a creeper. Let's move you to the chapel. And then that's like the place that he wants to be. But this is one of just the many items that was brought in by the Tinney family that now call this place home.
I've opened up my second dragon's milk, which means I'm on my 6th beer.
Yeah. I opened my second a little bit ago, which means I'm still on my second.
Oh, I love the alcohol by volume on these things.
Okay.
Yeah. So what
you are funny.
The cool ones I thought, and I never heard of it on anything that we've done, including when we were doing countries. Okay. The samurai. This is the only place that I've heard of an actual samurai warrior in the samurai warrior garb. I'm talking, and alcohol by volume. 1 beer is 3 regular beers on these dragon's milk. So yeah, 2nd beer, 3rd beer, 6th beer. A full now this I'm not sure is residual to something in the Asian section of the museum style that they have set up now. But there's a possibility of intelligence with it as well.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, because this entity who appears in full samurai armor.
Yeah, like think of The Last Ronin, or The Last Samurai. I mean, just that whole gear.
Like, appears basically strutting around the Asian section like he's standing guard over the Asian artifacts.
Yeah, I mean, he's very much yokai. I mean, he is
like,
because the mask and everything is on him. I mean, he is
the mask and you can see the sword. I mean, not solid, but visual. He's there enough to where you can see him, and you can hear his footsteps as he's walking in that room. But he stays around the Asian artifacts.
Yeah, he only stays in the Asian section. Sorry, you're talking, so I picked it up, Dave.
That's right. I get it.
Artifacts may hold residual energy too, and you're absolutely right.
They
Objects
absolutely.
can be
Top.
scarred enough to contain residual energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talk about
full
that a lot.
guard.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Like they're like, whoa. And he's just, but he's not, he doesn't acknowledge people. He doesn't pay attention to people
no,
so much
it seems
as,
like definitely feels like he's on guard
yeah,
of
it's,
something in there.
yeah, it feels like the term is they see him strutting around the thing, which if you're in samurai armor, you're walking like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, your
You're
shoulders.
not, you can't really move very well, but this can move, but your torso is covered. So he's generally like this. I can see how it appear like the person strutting, but basically, yeah, it seems like he's standing guard over those artifacts.
Yeah, and this is what I thought about when I heard about the samurai is okay, I want to get Dave there. Because Dave's gonna go, it's coming from that object. This is what he's guarding.
Who are you?
And it could be a residual standing of the guard of an object, of an artifact. Like his whole purpose was protect this thing while he was alive.
Yeah.
And he died protecting it, and now his spirit is just still protecting it.
Still protecting it. Because he's basically
very much residual.
He's still working for his lord.
Yeah, he's
what he's doing. He's doing his job.
Yeah,
and this is the thing. This is why I was talking about a sword earlier, because I think it's a sword.
Friend.
Yeah, I think he's still, what's the word, daimyo, right?
Daimyo.
Yeah. Daimyo, not daimyo. Yeah, I think he's still
daimyo. He's still working for his daimyo. He's still working for his oyabun, his boss.
His boss. Yeah.
I believe it's either his. I think it's his katana or it's the wakizashi. But I got when I read it, I felt that it was a sword that has the attachment on it, and that's without even knowing the artifacts that are in there. I'm feeling a sword.
That's crazy. That's the first thing I thought of too. Like there's a sword. There's a family sword.
There's a family. There's a sword. There's a 2,000-year-old sword.
Yeah. This was Obanugi's sword, and you were supposed to protect the family sword, and you died protecting the family sword when he got crushed by oh shit, what the hell's his name? God, mind blank on names for some reason now. But actually, you know what? Watch the new samurai show on Hulu. They kind of talk about it. Very, very cool show. But it's yeah, I can see it. I could see it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a sword.
I see a family sword and heirs sword. You know, when I say family sword, that's the sword that's supposed to be going to the next king. You know, that's what gives you your family name, and I think he died protecting it, and I think he's still protecting it. I think he's bound to that sword through life and death, and because I think it's very much he could be very much a residual energy, but at the same time he could be not residual energy.
Yeah, because it could be,
because the honor of the samurai, I can see transposing death.
Yeah, I could see. Well, and I could see him, basically behaving like the guards outside Buckingham Palace, to where he's intelligent, but he doesn't interact with you until you go to take something.
Yeah,
he's doing his job, so he's pacing back and forth. He's guarding the artifacts. If somebody were to come in and try to steal the artifact, maybe just maybe he would behave intelligently. But I'm thinking it's intelligent, but I can't knock the residual of what he's doing because it's like he's on automatic pilot.
That's kind of
because make it think the same way I am. I'm thinking it's intelligent, but as long as you're not disturbing the artifacts, as long as you don't try to take anything, he'll just stay there and do his job.
To tell you the truth, throughout all history, when I think of the most honorable warriors alive, I think of the samurai.
Oh,
That
heck yeah.
they
I've,
they
I've
they
always
lived
been,
and died by honor.
yeah, I've always been the Bushido. I have always tried to live up to that.
I don't even come close
No,
to that
I
kind
can't
of honor.
possibly. Yeah.
I would love to have that kind of honor in my life, but unfortunately, I am uh, uh, pagan and native. Um,
I,
so my honor is a little different.
yeah,
I'm bred a little different, a
little bit more to
little
the
more
north,
savage, a little
a
less.
little bit to the north of that. I see. I've always been, and you know this. I've always been a propensor of balance, mind,
Yeah,
body, and spirit.
yeah,
And so when just stupid thing with work, I was asked to draw a symbol that represented me, and I drew a yin yang symbol. And they were like, "What does this mean?" I'm like, "That means the balance between mind and body." And he goes, "Do you think you have that?" And I said, "No, this is a goal. this
yeah,
is this is where I want to be." Now, I consider myself a Taoist, and the Taoism believes that you take thing as it comes, and I've always believed that way.
No.
To where, okay, I'm reactive in that way. Whatever comes to me, I can take. I'll figure it out, and that's how I've always been.
yeah,
But I've always been a fan of the code of Bushido and the way they view honor above everything else. There is no way I would kill myself if I failed.
yeah.
There's
Well,
no way.
that's the great thing, right? Because honor to them is above family, but without honor, they can't. That honor bleeds into their family life,
Yeah,
like like
it's everything.
it's everything, and the
Yes,
way they treat their family is so genuine as well because of that code of honor that they have.
It's
The
inside.
samurai warrior is a
it is inside.
phenomenal freaking
It's
warrior.
inside.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
and
It is inside.
don't get me wrong, I was an angry, torn up kid, and
You were.
I loved chaos, and I loved to fight, and I loved the physical, and I would do it
Yeah.
on purpose,
Yeah.
and if I had I don't know, I had to rethink things, and I think I live in more of a balanced life now, and people think I have 2 emotions, anger and laughing. Because
The man attacks
because
people.
I live in the center, so when you see emotion come out of me, that's usually where it comes out at on either side, but I live in the
Yeah.
center now, and I have to. I have to live in the
Yeah.
center, but
Yeah.
what taught me that was martial arts,
Yeah.
was learning about Japan and the samurai. That's what taught me how to live in the balance.
Yep.
If I didn't do all
That was
that,
that discipline
I'd
of
probably be in prison right now. To be honest with you,
yeah.
I'd probably be
Instead
in
of
prison.
working at a prison, you would
Instead of
have
working,
you
I
you would have
probably
been a
would.
guest.
Yes, I wholeheartily probably would have killed somebody.
I
With my bare hands.
I don't
Uh,
doubt it. I don't doubt it, bro. I mean, I've known you for a very long time. And I know because there was a period where you would not talk to me.
I,
You
yeah,
basically kind of shut everybody out.
yeah.
Um so yeah, when I started seeing you again and we started talking and you started doing this, I'm like, dude, he's back. Let's go.
Change.
I
I like the
yeah,
toys.
okay.
I,
Likes the
I
toys, wants to change. I do believe wholeheartedly that you've come back from a very dark place.
I
And
was for a while. For
yeah,
a long while, I was not best,
Electric shock.
and I don't wanna say mentally, but I wanna say emotionally, I was not in the best
yeah,
spot, right?
no,
Uh,
yeah,
there was a lot of anger, and hate was the only thing I knew for a long time.
yeah,
And I don't get me wrong, it's still there, right?
yeah.
And I know we're talking starting a whole
You can never fully get rid of that. You
I
can
know we're
never
talking
fully get
starting
rid
a
of it.
whole
Yeah,
my hate the hate that I have, the anger that I have, it's still there. Like it's
Yeah.
there. And that scares me, right? Because I
I
have
get it.
so much positive around me. I know bad things have happened to me. I know I can't use the left side of my body like normal people do.
Yeah.
But I got an amazing wife.
Yeah.
I got 3 amazing daughters. I got a best friend that is more like a brother to me than anything, that I get to do a show with every single week. There's a lot of things that can bring me down and make me more go back to where I was and be in that dark place. I just choose to see positive now.
Yeah. And that's good.
Even when bad things happen to me, I literally look at a silver lining for fucking everything. I have to. I
Yeah.
have to find a silver lining, which is why I laugh at a lot of shit, because if I don't laugh, things, that's my defense mechanism, right?
That's your coping mechanism. That's
Yeah.
that's the way we do it. All right. So let's get back.
Let's keep going, because there's
Let's
so
keep
much to talk
going.
about. We're already been talking for an hour.
Yeah.
Quiet and listen.
Okay.
So there's speaking of which, there's the angry spirit of the night. And this is attached to a 16th century Italian armor battlesuit that is in the French Gothic ballroom.
I love how they put battlesuit. Like, are you wearing armor for anything other? Right.
Right? Is there a formal one that you?
But
this is a silk armor that I wear for bedtime. For bedtime. So, but yeah, it's a battlesuit. Okay, so yeah, and maybe that's the way the Italians. Okay, so we have armor for battle, we have armor for dinner. Maybe they do. But anyway, this angry enemy.
This is a full plate set of armor, right?
This is full plate armor. This is the kind of stuff you see in like an actual castle.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So this entity relives his death,
dude.
When a spear was thrown
to the head, bro.
Yeah, a spear was thrown through his helmet visor. His screams and shrieks of agony are heard by staff and the Tinney family for many years.
Sin.
And I'll guess that still go there.
Yeah, especially during the month of March. March was the month that he was killed.
Yeah. Crazy.
So
now, that's not even the craziest thing about
I'm not even getting I'm not even getting to the other part that I have. So his spirit communicated with Virginia Smith.
Yes.
And told her that he had been left for dead by his fellow knights.
Dude, right?
And he died alone.
Yes. I mean, he did take a spear to the head.
He took a spear to the head. They were like, no, he's gone. But when they do tours and stuff, his helmet will turn by itself.
Yes.
To watch strangers walk by.
Like,
yes.
He's just all, no. No.
No.
You just keep looking at that wall. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy to watch.
You don't understand.
I do understand. To see something move.
There's 5 of us.
When there's nothing there to make it move. No matter how long you've been dealing with the paranormal, is fucking crazy. And to walk by a metal statue, basically a suit of armor, and watch the helmet turn, and that's got to make noise. Those things weren't made to be quiet.
Nope. unless it's the bedtime armor.
Yeah, it's the bedtime armor. But this is the battle armor, dude. I can't make the metal noise.
Again, it ends up being my Ozark Keller impression again.
You can hear your head, but what comes out your mouth, that's not it.
That's not what I was thinking was going to happen.
I can
Just
do
going to
that.
leave it at that.
Yeah.
But
visit.
dude,
Oh,
you can visit.
yeah, visit.
But dude, there's so many other things. So
You got the dancing girls in the French Gothic ballroom, the two girls that are seen dancing in there.
Mhm.
You got the older lady in pink seen in Harley Tinney's bedroom.
That's said to be Ruth. They think that's
said to
Ruth
be
Tinney.
Ruth. Yep.
Yeah, older woman's been appearing in Harley Tinney's bedroom on occasion to visit her daughter-in-law. So she like shows up looking for her daughter-in-law.
You have the second floor gallery where a lady in a ball gown is seen.
Right.
And nicely, this is I just want to say I appreciate the fact that none of these women that are seen in this castle or mansion, whatever you want to call it, are described as a lady in white.
Correct. The ball gown. But yeah, they say they believe that the lady in the ball gown is perhaps Alva Belmont, who's the person who the house was given to for a wedding present in the beginning.
It's a 27,000 square foot house, love.
And she's seen as a very pleasant entity. Walking around on the second floor gallery. Just
she likes the gallery.
Yeah.
Donald Tinney has been seen.
Stop recording.
He was actually seen looking down from the balcony down onto his own memorial service.
Yes.
I thought that was interesting. I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that. There's an entity. Oh, I love this guy. There's an entity in the library that likes taking things, but he gives them back.
Yes.
So your shit will end up missing, and then all of a sudden it's back.
Yep.
Right where you put it.
Right where you put it.
After you spent 2 hours looking for it, it's right where you left it.
And then, of course, we know the older entity. That's the dude that was buried under the banquet hall. His spirit's walking around the banquet hall all the time. There's the entity of the British soldier who marches around in dress uniform.
Yes. Yeah. How about the ball of light
scroll
that has been seen in and around the carriage that's inside the house?
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
Yep. Let's see. Disembodied voices can be heard. Oh, I'm sorry. The entity in the maid's room.
Oh, yeah.
On the third floor of the north wing also moves things around the room.
Moving things around the room.
Moving furniture and stuff. Yeah. The disembodied voices, it says a young female tour guide, while leading a group of visitors through the French Gothic ballroom, heard a male voice tell her several times to get out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And we have actual evidence that was discovered by our friends, the ghost hunters, Jason and Grant.
This is crazy. So, yeah. You hear footsteps, right? You're hearing footsteps. You can hear footsteps, people running up on you and all that good stuff in this place. It is that kind of place. But they caught on infrared the actual footsteps on camera.
Yes.
Now I went back and watched that episode this week because you know what? We had an extra week. I read it. I wrote it down.
I don't need to scare you.
I had to go watch it. That was fucking phenomenal. I was like, are you shitting me? Like, this is season 2, if I remember right. Like episode 14 of season 2, if I remember right, off the top of my head. I watched it on Tuesday. That was many days ago and lots of prisoners ago. We'll have to tour this one. We've toured some.
Who is she?
Belcourt, but never this one in the daytime to see the artifacts. I don't want to scare you, Mika, but I'm just saying, like the ball of light in the carriage was seen during the day. The apparition, most of these apparitions aren't being held to nightly visits. They're seen and heard throughout all times of day and night, which is one of the reasons I fucking love this place. They are not scared of daytime. They're not. They're not scared. They don't give a shit what time of day it is. The samurai's been seen at night. The samurai's been seen in the day. The old man that they forgot about in the cemetery, all times. The monk, shit. It was the middle of the day when he was preparing for mass when the lady went and talked to fucking the daughter-in-law or whatever and asked when mass was starting because she wanted to go to mass. Middle of the day. I mean, this is a place that does not matter what time it is when things happen in this place.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do, and tell me if you think I'm wrong. I think it has a lot to do of where this place is built on a place that supplies an endless amount of energy.
Yep. It's a battlefield and a graveyard. So that's the beginnings of it. And then you have all these items that are brought in that basically just needed a little juice to get going.
Yeah.
And
yeah. And they're exploding.
It's a perfect storm. That's how I called it in the history video. I called it a perfect storm of haunted objects meeting haunted house.
Yeah. This is everything you want in a paranormal location.
Yeah.
Bite.
And yeah, take a bite out of it. It's got the whole 9 yards.
Mortuary.
The cool thing about this place,
yeah,
with all the haunted items and the house itself and the ground, is the lack. I mean, we didn't really talk about the chairs, which is kind of funny. That's the place. Those are
I was actually going to mention the chairs right before we score it. Let's talk about the chairs, but
it is the non-malevolent.
Yeah,
in this.
I mean, the like I said, the most violent is concerning the chairs.
And that was my segue.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm loving this. That's exactly where I wanted to go. Because there are 2 Gothic style chairs that are in the house.
The king and queen chairs.
Yes.
The whole reason we found this place was because of these chairs.
Yep.
Looking for haunted, attached, or cursed objects.
Yep. And we saw the chairs and we were like, oh, these chairs look like they've been good. And then we were like, wow, that's not the only item that's haunted in this place. And then we started looking at the place itself and went, no, we got to do it as a location.
Got to be a location.
Over there.
Yeah.
Over there. So
the guillotine's over there.
Yeah. So they have 1 to 2 chairs in the Gothic ballroom that have spirits in them. If you put your hand near the chairs, your hand gets cold and prickly.
Yes.
If you try to sit in a chair, you are met with resistance.
Yes.
And if you sit in the other chair, you could be completely thrown out of the chair.
Yes. Which has happened.
Yes.
Which has happened.
So like I said, this is the only negativity really.
But this has happened. I just want to say this has happened so much to the point where they have roped off the chairs and do not allow people to sit in them no more.
Yeah.
We have watched so many people get thrown out of a chair. And you don't even have a good picture of the chair. That's crazy.
Hey, let me get a picture of the chair. I had a picture of the chair. Oh, I did on my old laptop. I had a picture of the chair on my old laptop.
On the old laptop.
Laptop.
It has happened so many times of people getting thrown, not just out of the chair. There's descriptions of people being thrown slid across the room from being thrown out of these chairs.
Bess.
It's happened so many times. They've roped them off and
Yeah.
will not allow people to sit in these chairs no more or even touch the chairs. You're no longer allowed to even touch the chairs. And from what I read, there was a post that said they don't even necessarily like people photographing the chairs because it makes the king and queen, is what they call them, angry. And things start to happen around the area that it gets aggressive. They do not like these chairs being messed with. These chairs would have been great for our chair episode. Wholeheartedly, this would have been. I mean, did we pick the devil's chair and the other one?
And the Busby stoop chair? Yeah.
Busby stoop chair. Were they great? Absolutely. But these chairs could have very well scored maybe as good as they did.
I think so. But when we were like, oh, we've got to do the location, that was like,
but there was so much else going on in this castle. We couldn't just talk about the chairs this much. We had to talk about Belcourt itself, because you have a 27,000 square foot house, not counting the land,
Please leave.
not counting the 30 horse stable that they have. That's a pretty good one. I had one and I should have fucking downloaded it where it actually has them in the center of the room roped off. But they
good spirits here.
Yeah. No, well, there are some good spirits there. I don't know if these ones are good.
I don't think these are good. They definitely do not want you near their chairs.
Or if they're just territorial over their shit.
That's what I'm thinking. But these things, they're violent. They have they've done, like, they've slapped people.
Yes.
They've scratched people. I mean, like you said, they've thrown people across the room. This is where the danger level lies of this place.
Is the whole danger level.
Otherwise, I was really low on the danger
I
level
meant it.
until I started looking at the chairs.
Yeah.
Because this is the most dangerous part of Belcourt Castle.
Absolutely. So, with finishing off with the chairs here, I think it's time to throw some numbers at this beast.
I agree. Let's throw some numbers. Starting off,
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Starting off with residual. So the residual haunts of this place, I think, are extensive. I think there's really good residual here.
Really good. I think you're understating everything so far.
I think the residual, and I think I underscored the residual here because I think a lot of the residual that was here has
stand your ground
to intelligence.
I'm gonna stand my ground.
I believe the residual haunts of this location have become intelligent.
I'm gonna go a whole separate way here.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand my ground just like Spirit Talker told me to.
Sit your ground, bro.
I'm gonna sit my ground. Standing hurts.
Standing hurts. I'm gonna sit my ground.
I'm gonna sit my ground here. I think because of the other things that are happening, that the intelligence haunts in this location overshadow
Absolutely.
the residual that's here.
Absolutely.
But the residual here, I think, is freaking phenomenal. If you read between the lines, like we talk about the cream of the crop here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's going on. But you can go into other spots and what they talk about, things that are happening in this place, really elevate the residual.
I'm inside it.
Talk about the personal haunts of this place. They just talk about the haunts of the Belcourt Castle itself. And they really generalize the residual on this place. I think doing the cream of the crop, yes, you can very much see the overshadowing of intelligence here. But the residual is fucking out of the mind here. They have residual of Miss Tinny here. They have residual. I think Donald's residual. You have the girls dancing in the ballroom. I mean, these are just minute things that we've kind of discussed in here for being residual.
Yeah.
Are there other things that we've discussed that lead you more to say haunting? The intelligent is higher. Yes. But that doesn't not
Thank
mean
you for
that
respect.
the residual here, you bet. That does not mean the residual here is not a fucking 10. The residual
No,
here
I
is
agree with
fucking
that.
10.
I agree with that. I think it should absolutely be a 10. I think it's a true 10.
It's a true 10.
It's a true 10, not an outrageous 10.
Not an outrageous 10.
I think it's a true 10. The British soldier, the the lady, the ball gown lady, the pink lady. I mean, I think all that stuff. I do
Yes.
think Donald is residual. I think, you know, I even think, in a lot of ways, the old man that was buried underneath, I think he's residual to a point. I
Yeah.
also think there's an intelligence about him. But yeah, no, I think it should be a true 10. I originally went 7 here, and I knew I underscored it when I did it. So
I
no,
was like, holy
I am
shit.
totally,
I mean,
but
because the
we talked
intelligence.
about
Hello.
this. We lowball it kind of on purpose,
Yeah.
unless we're
leave
absolutely
us
sure.
wiggle room. Yeah.
Yeah, we give a little bit of wiggle room. That way we can change our scores a little bit. Because I like to end up being higher than I in the final score than I was in the preliminaries. Speaking of higher,
And again, this overshadows.
It's like that spice that just overpowers your food.
It's like you put a bunch of salt in, but all you taste is the pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's this place, right? The residual is absolutely a 10. It's fucking phenomenal. There's so much going on here that has no intelligence to it, that is just stuck or scarred or in a time loop, whatever, however you want to explain residual energy.
They killed her.
The intelligence level here is fucking. I say
Right.
residual is
It's through the
amazing,
roof.
is great, and intelligence is
Archie.
fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
The intelligence here, like we've talked about the possibility of the residual energy of the samurai, but the way he acts leads me to believe is there's so much intelligence in what's happening, and he's doing it purposefully. The monk being a full-bodied apparition
And doing
creating
mass, and
mass
I think
and
that's
setting up mass.
absolutely. Yeah, I think that's absolutely intelligent.
The knight watching you.
Watching you, that's intelligent. That's got to be.
I even give Donald Tinney watching his own memorial service.
That was intelligent.
The footsteps that walk away. That's intelligent. That was fucking phenomenal. I was like, holy shit! I had to go watch that episode.
The entity in the library.
The library that steals your shit and brings it back.
Yeah.
Not
Not to mention the one in the maid's room. I can't knock that as a.
Yeah, that's going to score high on the poltergeist level, but
the same thing.
Shit around.
But I had to give a point to intelligence for there too, because it could absolutely be intelligent. So yeah, this to me was the
entities of the king and queen's chairs. This wasn't.
It was an easy.
Don't get me wrong. I wrote 9 here because I wanted to talk. Talk. But really, the intelligence level here is more like a 15.
Yes.
Is how it really is.
Yes.
So all right. So let's move to Dave's favorite category.
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist and objects, I think, are Dave's favorite categories, to be honest with you.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
Agrees.
Okay.
Dude, there's is good.
It's good. I'm not at a 10 though.
I'm not a 10 here.
I'm not at a 10 here. I definitely believe that there's good poltergeist activity. We have at least 2 entities that move stuff.
Yeah.
We have the helmet that turns.
Yeah.
We've got there are objects that go missing and come back.
Yeah.
There's stuff that's happening. So I did go 8 for poltergeist here.
I went 7. We're close. but I knew you were gonna overscore me on it.
I mean, I went with the
7.
chair stuff. I think that's absolutely poltergeist activity because we have a thing about. I feel like if you're being touched and moved and stuff, that's poltergeist activity too.
This is why I knew that you were gonna overscore me here. I said Dave's gonna be an 8 or 9. I don't think Dave will be a 10. I think Dave will be an 8 or 9. This is not a guy being thrown up against the wall, being choked out till he goes unconscious type of poltergeist activity.
But thrown across the room?
But thrown across the room. I have give points to the poltergeist activity there. I just don't give as many points to a human being touched for poltergeist activity as Dave does.
Yeah, because I consider humans to be an object.
Dave considers humans
if a human being is moved, that is an object being moved, that is poltergeist activity.
When I think of poltergeist activity, I literally think of PK manifestation. I think the movie Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Objects being moved, light switches on and off, strange occurrences happening.
I agree with all that. So the girl being like grabbed and pulled into the portal, not poltergeist.
I did not consider that poltergeist activity because at this point in time, now we have got this huge PK manifestation that's opened up a portal that has drug her into a whole different dimension, right? It's gone beyond poltergeist activity. The poltergeist, because poltergeist to me is not intelligent. It's a non-intelligent energy affecting the surroundings. That for me is poltergeist activity.
Okay, so on that note, then the objects that are being moved by the mischievous guy, the helmet that's being turned, and what the maid's doing, that would not be poltergeist activity because that's intelligent.
Yes and no, because
I'm just trying to wrap my head around this.
Now hear me out. The reason why I give points to both areas here is because do I think something intelligent is happening? Absolutely. Got to give points to the intelligence. And now when I think of poltergeist activity, they're not seeing an entity actually move.
You understand me.
They're not seeing an entity actually do it. So if I watched a ball roll across my floor right now, I would think poltergeist activity could very well be a intelligent person here fucking with me. But my first thought, poltergeist activity, because I'm not seeing the entity. Watching the monk walk around, I think definitely that's going to be a fucking intelligent, possibly even residual.
Okay.
That's where I go. So my point system really is kind of crazy because I can give points all throughout these things based on the levels of what I think it possibly could be. So when I get to the poltergeist activity, which is not necessarily my favorite, I'm more of a non-human intelligent. Those are probably my two favorites of haunts, right?
Yeah.
Residual is great because they tell great stories. Poltergeist always ends up at the bottom of my scale when it comes to the paranormal. Is that biased? Yes, absolutely. It's fucking biased. But that's
why we put our scores together, bro. We come up with an average of the two of us.
Yeah, but that's how I look at the paranormal. Now, do I think that the poltergeist activity deserves a half point? Absolutely not. This is a place that there should not be 7.5. There should be a 7 or an 8 based on what we decide to come across. Do I understand where you come from and how you score people being touched? Absolutely.
I told her.
I don't normally score it as high as you do, but normally I talk myself up and put it at the 8.
Mm-hmm. so now that you've talked it out, how do you feel about taking it up to 8?
I'm gonna say it's an 8 because I'm gonna agree with you with the throwing across the room warrants that extra point. And not just that, the amount of activity that happens after they get pissed off from people fucking with their shit. It really ramps up there.
Yeah.
And think more than just people are being moved around.
Yeah, no, other stuff like, it does all kinds of crazy stuff.
And it takes days for them to calm down, which is why they roped off the fucking area. They're like, we're tired of this shit.
No, it goes beyond just, tackling hurting the person that hits the chair or that tries to sit in the chair. It goes to, like, for the next couple of days, like anybody that walks by or anything happens in that room, the chair is causing it, almost like a vortex of crap that happens because they're so mad.
It's just this huge negative PK manifestations around the chair that just fucking happen.
Which is it. It's like the entity itself, the intelligent entity is creating the PK manifestation because of their own rage from us touching the object.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you to stay.
I'm glad because I pay rent.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to John's favorite, the non-human element.
This is literally one of my favorite things to talk about on a paranormal location. I love the non-human element when it comes to the paranormal, probably because I've dealt with a non-human element for 40 fucking years.
I was like, most of
I turned 47 next month, 40 years. As far as I can remember. I remember about 7 years old, things happening with Top Hat, which is definitely a non-human entity.
Day.
I scored the non-human here very, 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 very low. There was, I literally saw nothing about shadow figures in this.
Stay a while.
No.
Is there, and the only reason I scored where I scored it is the possibility, because of where it was built, what the land was before, what's happened there.
It's no longer consecrated ground.
Yeah, no longer consecrated ground. I think there's that possibility of there being a potential of a non-human element being there or being there now or showing up. And I literally went a 2 on the non-human. I almost went 1, but I had to give points here. Mika. Yeah, I would agree with a low score for this category. It for me, there was just not. It's like the audio in Aliens for me sometimes. It's there's just nothing there, and I kind of went with you because you love audio with Aliens, and I gave the potential point.
Now, see, I saw the potential. Yeah, I saw the potential on this one as well, but there's one thing that kind of bugs me. I mean, I think there's a potential there with the chairs that there could be something non-human involved there.
Right. Yeah, right.
But what I went is to the mischievous entity.
Okay, in the library. Okay.
And I think that could be a trickster demon.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right. I like where you're going here.
So I ended up going 4.
You went 4.
I went 4.
That's a little higher than I was thinking you would go.
I know. Because I went, okay, the potential for the losing the consecrated ground, that took it to a 2 for me. I gave a 1 point bonus to the chairs and a 1 point bonus to the mischievous entity in the library. So I ended up going.
I kind of the chairs thing happened. I wholeheartedly, because they call them the king and queen. I don't know who they were, who they belonged to.
That seems like more than just an intelligent entity can give off.
There's some power there, right?
There's some power coming off of that. So if it's not, if it's a human entity, then it's an entity that's done some black magic or something that has some kind of power.
There's some power there. They have more power than what you would think from a normal intelligent entity. I'm kind of with you there. I was like half points, right? I didn't give our full scale of a 2, and I didn't half it at a 1. I was more like half points for certain things, right?
Yeah,
because that's kind of like the only negative thing that's really happening around here. But I didn't think about maybe a mischief. You say a mischief demon,
trickster demon. Yeah, an imp or a gremlin or something like that.
I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Would you consider them demons? I mean, yes, definitely. That would definitely be
non-human. I consider it non-human, but yeah,
a gremlin and an imp is definitely non-human. That is definitely of the Fey world and things like that. So, goblins, same thing. Yeah, no, I'm thinking you might have underscored it now, thinking about that and thinking about the power that those guys that because that's I mean, when we talk about let's just rethink about the poltergeist activity where that dude got thrown across the room, up against the wall, picked up, and pretty much choked out unconscious. I mean, that's power, right? That's
Yeah.
a huge amount of power, and multiple people saw it, which was crazy.
Yeah.
That was off the scale for the non-human, right? We were like, "That's fucking that thing's dangerous."
Yeah.
Are the chairs as bad? Absolutely not, absolutely not. But
No,
it
but they're
really
powerful
has
enough to
that
give me.
same feel to it, where
Yeah.
it has that power,
Yeah.
and
For it
and
to
that's
like
for it
hot.
to keep that power, like it like ramps up for like days. It's like, rah.
yeah, and it's like it holds a grudge. It takes a
Oh,
while
yeah,
for the anger to calm
it keeps
down.
that rage for a while. It's, it's like my wife. I don't want to piss her off, so
No,
I don't want to piss these chairs
no,
off.
no.
Whatever's
So you
whatever's
married the
whatever
Asian
wants to
Mexican,
piss.
I married the Mexican. Well, I know how you feel. Yeah,
I
Filipino
know, no,
Mexicans, don't piss them off.
Filipinos got that Spanish blood, so it's
Yeah,
it,
there's a reason
yeah.
why they both have this last name Cortez, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm after talking about this, I think the non-human's a 5.
I'd be down to go 5 because I'm like I think the chairs deserve 2 points. I really do. I think there's something really powerful there.
And I'm gonna have to change my danger score now. Um,
Well, you might actually be closer than I was for danger now.
that's
But I do think the non-human lowest score of the 4 types of haunts.
yeah, of the 4 types of haunts
Out of the
here,
4
the
types of haunts,
non-human
that's
is
the lowest.
definitely the lowest here. Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, but intelligent, I think, to be overshadows everything.
Yeah.
But the residual definitely deserves that 10.
Yeah, the intelligent is like putting fennel on your steak. You can't taste anything else.
Yeah.
Um,
So history. I struggled with the history here, bro.
I did too. I was like,
I love this fucking history of this place.
yeah.
I
So
love
here-
it. And I was trying, like, I have to be biased here because it's
I have regrets.
just been this, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
it was built on the battlefield. It was built
right.
on the cemetery, but it's always been Belcourt Castle. It's exchanged hands multitude of times. Technically, it's a museum now. Those chairs must go. No, yeah, into my house. I agree, Kira.
let me ask you something though, because this is where my dilemma was. I was like, okay, the house was built in 1891.
Yeah,
we've got to consider the fact that there was a battlefield there, because we always talk about the land also.
Yeah.
So the battlefield was there, the graveyard was there. That's considered, but it's always been what was Belmont Mansion, Belmont House first, and then it was Belcourt Castle.
Yeah.
But where I struggled was with the items that were brought in and their history.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's good. I like that.
Because
I really like
chairs, the Italian armor, the 2,000-year-old Asian artifacts, the freaking, all that stuff, the monk statue, all that crap, where that came from, 16th century armor,
Idiot.
right?
They have
like
thousands of artifacts in this place. In this place
from 30 different countries. And I'm just thinking it's the history that's behind that. Because we're talking about the attachments on the items just as much as we are talking about the house and the land.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just the armor. I mean, there's tons. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Kira, the cheers.
So I did not. I mean, I'm thinking it should be a 10, but because these items were introduced and not part of the original land, I went 9.
Rose.
And see, I originally scored a 7 here because I was trying so hard not to be biased here, because I'll give this a 10 right now. I'll give it a 10 right now. That I love the history of this place. I know it's only been one thing. It's always been, a mansion or a castle, whatever you want to call it. But the multitude of ownership, what's happened in this place, the fact that it was built for $3.2 million and got sold for $1,000, and then another $2,500 or $22,000.
Yeah, 22,500, and then
crazy.
It was the arts festival or the jazz festival. It did that for a year. But it did change owners a whole bunch of times until the Tinnies got it, and then they had it for 50 years.
And the history that went along with the ownership of this place. It's not just the owner, changing ownership, but the history of the ownership of this place.
Oh, the military had it too.
So, military and
things like because they were repairing their vehicles in the stables. That was what they used the property for.
Yeah. So I'll give this a 10 right now. I love this place. I love the history. I know it's
move over.
What 200 less than 200 years old, but it's seen so much, and the land itself has seen so much. Yeah, Kira, 10 easily, right? That's kind of how I feel about this place. It's not one of those extravagant 10s that we talked about on some of these spots that we've talked about with how old it is and things like that. But what's happened here and then you add the fact of all the artifacts bring in and their histories to them, where it's a museum now. I think it deserves a 10.
Yeah, I agree. I think it does. Yeah, I was just like, I didn't want to give it a 10 because it was the stuff. Again, I wanted to talk it out because I'm like, I feel it should be high. I wanted to go 10, but I was like, but the objects don't originate here. They originate from something else. But when we're talking about the activity, that history has to be considered because the activity is coming from the artifacts. A lot of the activity is coming from the artifacts.
Yes, there's a ton of activity coming from the artifacts, and I think there's a lot of residual activity coming through the land, and there's just so much coming through. Like I said, there's a lot of 10s that we've given or actually no, there's not a lot of 10s that history. There's been some prominent places that we've talked about 10s for. I think with what this was before the house was built to what it is now and everything in between, this deserves the 10. It really does. Does it have the time that a lot of places that we talk about that we've given 10s to? No. But like Penhurst is a 10.
Yeah.
Look at the history.
So for this year, because we're coming up on our second. So we're almost done with a full year, and this is the 7th 10 that we've given.
Yeah, that's as I said, we don't give 10s out wholeheartedly.
We don't give them out easily. No. In fact, there's a lot of times we try to talk ourselves down because we don't want to give them all 10s.
I was trying not to be biased here. I was trying to look at this from the outside, and the more I looked at it from the outside, I still wanted to give it a 10, but I went 7 because I was trying not to be an asshole and be biased. I tried to on you, and you talked up.
But I only went down 1 point. I'm like 9. We've got to discuss it and see. I got to see where John's head is with this, because I was swimming on this one, just going, I don't know what to do with it. And so speaking of outrageous scores, what did you think of the audio here?
You mean manifestations?
Are we're on manifestations? Yes, we are.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, we just did history.
It's
okay.
Man.
So that's good segue though. Speaking of outrageous scores, what did you get from manifestations?
That's a 10, bro.
That's an easy 10, bro.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if it was just the monk alone, it would be a 10.
A 10. I agree. And it's not just the monk. It's the monk. It's the samurai. It's the women, the dancers, the old man, the British soldier.
Donald
And these are all not, and there's orbs and mists and crap like that we've seen too. But these are just apparitions. These are full body apparitions that are showing up.
Okay, I'll even take the monk out of it. And I say, if it was just the footsteps alone caught on IR walking, I'd give this a 10.
I'd give that an 8, but I totally see your point.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, no, this is a 20. Manifestations, this is a 20. This isn't even a true 10. This is like one of the biggest manifestations that I think we've done this year.
Yeah.
Now this one, there's a lot of 10 manifestations here.
With not a single shadow figure reported, bro.
Yeah. With no shadow figures.
Like we've had this influx of places that we've talked about that has had like 100,000 shadow figures being seen.
Concerned.
Which gave us 10s, of course, on manifestation because how many are being seen. This has not a single shadow figure talked about in any of the paranormal here. Not one shadow figure did I hear about this place, which I thought was fucking crazy.
That was crazy. Yeah, I was like, holy crap,
what's happening? Yeah, this is a 20. This is crazy. This is crazy manifestation.
Yep. But there's only one other place that we've done that the non-human was a 5 or less. And that was Independent State.
Yeah.
And that had a 7 for manifestations.
Yeah.
I have never, this is like, I'll put this as far as apparitions go, as far as full body apparitions go, I'll put this up against Alcatraz.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on Alcatraz again,
dude. I'm telling you, and there's shadow figures all over the place at Alcatraz. But as far as straight up intelligent apparitions, and Alcatraz has officially the highest score we've ever recorded on the show.
Yep.
I'd put Belcourt Castle up against it.
For manifestation wise,
I'd have them both at a 10 for manifestations. I would pick Belcourt over Alcatraz.
Look out for lights.
I would have to.
For manifestation.
I'd have to agree.
I'm not thinking total. I don't know if it wouldn't win in a fight, but I think
no. I think Alcatraz wins. Like if we put this up against Alcatraz, I think Alcatraz wins. But if I had to say against manifestations, now mind you, I'm gonna pull away from my personal experience here on Alcatraz and what happened to me in solitary confinement.
Annoying.
If I take my personal experience away from Alcatraz, I would say yes, wholeheartedly, Belcourt wins on the manifestations. But because of what I saw with my own eyes inside solitary confinement, when they closed that fucking door on me, motherfucker, Alcatraz is fucking crazy, and I still think that thing wants to kill me. Because that was not a person.
No, I mean they didn't shut the door on me.
When,
I was in that same room.
When we eventually go to Alcatraz, I am worried this thing is going to remember me. That's
okay. So I went there 3 times in 4 years.
Well, you got 3 kids.
I got 3 kids, 8th grade trip, we went to Alcatraz. That thing remembered me every time I came back.
I'm so worried that thing when we go down to the hole, because we have to. We have to. We'll remember who I am and remembering me being face to face with it.
Yeah. Now I saw it and it growled at me.
I hadn't been that scared.
I wasn't shut in a room with it. I was in the room and I saw it. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I saw it too. And he growled at me. He knew that I saw him. And then The next year, I was like, I'm not going in that room.
The only way I know we're talking about Belcourt Castle and we're getting off subject again, but the only way I can describe it is I hadn't felt that much fear on something since I was a little kid when I first started dealing with Top Hat. That's how badly that thing scared me.
Snow.
Yeah.
And mind you, I'm not scared of Penhurst at all. I am worried about going back to Alcatraz. That I'm gonna have to bring protection with me. I am still thinking about finding out doing a spell for my wedding ring, so I always have it. But
I can
yeah,
help you with that.
good. We'll have to talk about that. So audio,
I've
Dave,
done
Dave, this is one of your favorite categories.
I liked the audio here, bro. There's good audio. The footsteps, the armor, the agony that the just shouting in agony, and the they occasionally hear piano playing. They hear music all over the place. There's voices telling them to get out. There's EVPs. There's all kinds of stuff. I did not go 10. I'm worried that I should go to 10. But again, I left room for conversation. I went 8.
That's exactly where I landed. I was at an 8. I was like, this.
It's good.
For the same reasons. I was like, this has really good audio. There's a lot of good audio that's happening here. But when I think of the haunts of this place, this is not one of the prominent things that's happening, right? You're not getting the audio that you would think you
Up
would
here.
get for a location like this.
Yeah. I mean, with all the activity, it didn't seem like the audio really matched.
Like, yeah,
what was going on.
It's crazy because like we're gonna be talking about the Shanley here shortly. Twice actually, one for Brews and Reviews and one for the Haunted Shanley for Scare Network, where I found a webpage called the Haunted Shanley Evidence that has video evidence and audio evidence.
Oh,
and of course, our friend Sean is on there. I was like, I wish that was here. I was like, man, I wish that was a page.
Yeah. I was trying to find, they didn't have anything like that for Belcourt.
Imbecile.
I know. I think it's imbecilic, but
I think it was imbecile.
But Mika said 9 or 10, and I wanted to illustrate that point I believe that in the month of March, the audio is probably a 10 because of the night.
Yes. If I had in March where he feels the anguish of his death, probably a 10. Probably can't get the guy to shut up, right?
Yeah, he's probably screaming in agony like the whole month. March just sucks.
I think and this is where I think I might have underscored was the full body apparition preparing for mass.
That's another good one. Did you freeze? Or did I freeze?
We both went out there for a second.
I don't see you at all. Your mouth is just open. There it is. I see you now.
All right. Okay.
I was just like,
you can tell I'm the host because my signal went crazy for a second.
Now maybe I think we go 9.
I say I'd be more than happy to go up to the 9 for this, based off of and he's back. Yes, my lovely voice and face is back. I'd be more than happy to go 9 here and bump it up to the 9 here.
All right, I'm down for that. Let's go 9.
You shouldn't be here.
I live here.
Okay, so there's 2 places I really struggled here. Well, 3. History.
I struggled on feels too.
Feels and danger.
I struggled on feels.
And my big thing here is nobody talks about their feelings at this place.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of emotional damage.
I feel like I'm being washed. I feel like I'm dread, or I mean, you get the cold spots with
you get the cold spots with the chairs.
You get the physical throwing across room, right?
Physical throwing. Yeah, you get
You're gonna start at a 5 is basically what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
If
and
you
that
can
and
touch
that's
me,
there's
hurt
extra
me,
contact there, so I think it's got to be at least a 6 or a 7 to start.
yeah. I finalized at a 7.
Okay.
I finalized at a 7 here.
Okay. So here's where I was also
Burned.
thinking, because they talk about the woman on the 3rd floor being friendly. So that's
Okay.
where they get this impression that she's friendly. So I applied a bonus there.
All right.
Civil.
And I is that civil or Sybil? Because
civil.
that could change the whole thing.
Oh, civil.
Uh,
Civil.
Okay. The what did I? Because I ended up at an 8. So I guess that's why
Yeah, you ended up at the 8. Okay.
I ended up at an 8.
All right. So
I thought there was something else that I had, but I can't remember it. So I ended up at the 8.
You touch me, you can hurt me. So I'm gonna be
Yeah.
at a 5. And I've been saying that since we started doing the show.
Oh no, the cold spot and the
5 years.
prickly skin. So you get the pricklies
Okay.
also from the chairs.
Okay.
I think
It's what you want.
all the
put
feels
that all
from the chairs.
together. I think I kind of put that cold spot and the pricklies
Yeah.
together.
I put that with the throwing. That's why I was at a 7 for the chairs. And then I gave a 1 point bump for the friendly feeling from the lady on the 3rd floor.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
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 Okay. So
Leo gets. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Leo
okay.
gets whatever you want. Leo gets.
All right. So I'm
because
gonna hit you with this. I'm gonna hit you with this. Okay.
I was about to hit you with something. You hit me first.
All right. I'm a hoo-hoo, and you can counter me. All right.
And I go,
so, so hear me out here.
we're
So
at 2 hours, bro. So let's go.
I know. We haven't done a show like this in a while. We've had a lot of
We have
squirrel
spoke
moments,
before.
but this is one of those episodes. Thank God it's just recordings after this. Okay, so you got the touching, which means you can hurt me. We're gonna start at a 5, right?
Yeah.
And you got me thrown across the floor, the cold spot, the pricklies. Okay, I'm gonna take you to a 7.
The resistance from sitting. We got to consider that.
So I'm gonna go a different route here, okay? And I'm gonna go with kind of what you were starting to go into, and go with the feelings of the actual entities themselves.
Raymond.
You had a monk statue that had an attachment to it that did not feel right or whole, because he was just a partial apparition, as people
Wanted
saw.
to be in the church. Oh,
He wanted to
dude.
be in the
Okay.
chapel. Hold on.
okay.
Hold
I
on.
see where you're going.
I'm gonna bring you some more, Dave.
I'm seeing
Yeah.
this.
You have this knight that feels betrayed by his
company because he was left for
company.
dead.
Left for dead. He screams in anguish. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, all right. I'm not done. I'm not done. You have Donald Tenney standing at the balcony watching his
Basement.
own memorial service when he died.
Yeah.
That showing up to your own funeral, bro.
They do witchcraft.
Yeah. No, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I like it. This is the, maybe
I don't think we've ever talked about the feelings of the spirits before.
Yeah. And I mean, really, we're not supposed to talk about the feelings of the spirits unless their feelings are exuding onto others, unless others get their feeling.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I also want to talk about the feelings that people get in that room with the chairs
Bring it to me.
when that
Oh.
rage is happening.
Yeah.
Because because I think there's something to be said about that, where people are just, whoa, shit, we better not go in that room. And that's why they blocked it off. There's a fear there.
Yeah. Look at I say
can't-
7.
I can't we're talking about our feelings toward the spirits, or what feelings are induced by the spirits in us,
Yeah.
not the feelings of the spirits themselves. But I think in
But-
this particular case, why we're talking about it here is we can feel that their level of intelligence
What do
goes
you
beyond
mean?
what we've talked about in the past.
Yeah, right. Because this is a huge intelligent type of haunt here.
Yeah.
And
And these-
I
and the
almost have
level.
to take into effect their feelings.
Yeah.
You have a samurai warrior that is still on guard for, I believe, to be a sword of like Obinaga, that he's still protecting and on guard for.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, and I've never talked about this before, but I almost have to
Hello there.
vilify, that's the right word I'm looking for, right? I think vilify the feelings of the actual intelligent spirits that are in this location. Almost, I it feels that way for me. I have to take their feelings into account, and for that, I'm at an 8 or a 9.
Okay. I mean, I'm already at an 8, so let's go 8 on it.
That okay. With that said, that doesn't change your score at all.
No,
Okay.
no, not to that point. I get it. I totally feel it. And I'm like, if there was like say in March when the dude is just crying in agony and people are like, oh man, he's like he's in anguish. I feel his pain and things like that. And when when the anger is happening with the chairs, they're like, man, I can feel that anger. I'm so afraid. If that was written somewhere, if they actually said something like that, I think it's
weird. Is it weird that they don't?
I'm
but they
scared.
don't. And see, I'm scared. That's what I want. Is I'm scared to be in that room if someone touches those chairs. I'm scared to touch those chairs. But it's obvious they are because they blocked it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And well, I mean, I can take into effect to where the woman wanted to go
He
to
doesn't
mass
like
after
visitors.
watching the monk preparing for mass. She's like, hey, when's mass starting? I want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like, I get to go to mass.
And
This is
her whole Tony was like, what? So she was confused, and so was the lady because whoa, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting your rehearsal or whatever. I'm right. I think I'm still at an 8. I
understand what you're saying. I think it's weird though that
it's weird.
don't.
It's weird that it's not mentioned. I agree. It's weird.
And this is the craziest thing. Me and Dave had like the same shit first time ever. We still scored differently, but we had like the same shit first time ever. It's weird that all the multitude of places that I did research for this place, they don't talk about the emotional aspect of what's happening, the dread, the fear, the being watched, the malaise.
Malaise,
which we haven't got to say in a while.
I haven't got to say malaise in a while.
Later this evening,
I'm going to say malaise. No, I've got something for you, bro, and this may change my tune. This may put me up to the 9. For almost 50 years, the Tinney family were experiencing paranormal activity in the house, and they never said a word to anybody because they were afraid of being ridiculed and embarrassed about what they think was experiencing, and they did not. They were afraid to mention it to anybody because they thought they were crazy until the medium showed up.
Yeah, until
Smith showed up and said, "No, this is real. You got some shit going on."
Yeah.
And then they went, "Okay, we'll hire you to talk about this, to do tours and raise funds for the castle and talk about what's going on." And I didn't even think about considering that, but that they spent, basically they spent
for
50 years like holding their tongue,
living in this place,
living in this place, holding their tongue because they didn't know what was going on, and they were afraid of the ridicule and repercussions that would come
being called
by
crazy
saying
because
something out loud.
they're high society.
Yeah.
I would take that to a 9. I'd give the bonus there.
I think that should be a 9. I didn't even. That was just. I was like, oh man, because I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there where, and you've been there where we experienced something and we're like, we can't tell anybody.
I'm not sure.
Exactly. I'm not sure.
I felt like I was going crazy until I was 13 years old shortly after I met you and you told me I wasn't crazy.
Yeah. Because I just like, and you had never mentioned anything about Top Hat. You never mentioned anything about him. Nothing.
I had, okay, don't get me wrong. I had mentioned, right? But I was looked at, I was fucking crazy. It's just my imagination, blah, 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 blah.
But I mean,
blah.
you never mentioned him to me.
Yeah. I got thrown across the room. Yeah. Whatever. Okay. I'm just talking about it. And then you come up and tell me.
Ryan was like, that's just my younger brother.
Yeah. Hey, bro, you see him too?
I know, because I was like,
no energy.
Don't take this the wrong way, but who's the guy behind you in the hat? And you were just like, what?
I think my reaction was not the reaction we were expecting, though.
No.
You see him too?
Yeah, you were just like, I did not. I mean, I was like, I didn't want to scare you.
Yeah. No, bro. It was
really something that I was just starting to get in tune with.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, it's just you and I want to let you know what I'm seeing.
My throat.
And yeah, you were just the look of relief.
Yeah.
On your face. You were just like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm not
crazy.
I'm not crazy. And I go, he might be a little bit crazy. But I'm right there with you. Not just crazy. It's amazing. All right. Let's move. Objects is an easy 10 for me. I'm not even going to play. It's a 10. It's not even, no. There's thousands of objects in here and a lot of them are attached.
Okay.
I did not
take that into account. I went 8.
It's a fucking 10. How is it not a 10?
I did not take into account the haunted curse.
Not a 10.
Where are we?
I understand what you're saying. and I do agree. It should be a 10. But I didn't think about that when I was writing my score, okay?
Wait.
Mika, quit taking Dave's side.
It's a 10. How is it not a 10? You didn't give it a 10. Oh,
so I think I was drinking dragon's milk when that happened.
How are you not at a 10? You aren't at a 10.
So yeah, it really should be a 10. I went 8. Okay, I didn't take into account
because you were thinking of the objects being moved by the mischievous thing in the library and things like that. Yeah, right? I get that.
And I went to the grave that got left. So like I scored Poltergeist 7. I scored this 8 because of the grave that got left.
I get that. I was in the same boat too. And then I'm like, wait, what the fuck am I talking about? There's a suit of armor, the monk statue, the samurai sword, all the Asian stuff, the freaking
Yes, the chairs. I
The chairs.
understand.
30 countries of crap of objects is in that house.
I did not think about that when I was doing my scoring, and I scored 8. But yes, you were right. Absolutely, wholeheartedly, this is a 10. This is wholeheartedly a 10. No doubt, objects is a 10. Now, okay. And where'd you score danger, Dave?
I did not score. I was kind of mid-range. I was mid-range with this because I was like, okay, I believe that the whatever entity or entities is guarding the chairs is dangerous.
Yes.
And I do believe that the spirit of the night is angry. Hasn't done anything yet, but I think there's potential there.
Yeah. Okay.
I also believe that there's potential for the samurai to do something if you disturb the artifacts.
Yes.
So, and with the perfect storm, the storm of stuff that happens for a couple days after that, and I ended up going 6 for danger.
You actually still overscored me.
Wow.
I went 5. I went 5 on the danger. And with the discussion that we had with the non-human and the power that those entities do have. Now, mind you, it's usually only when you fuck with their shit.
See my shadow.
Yes.
So
as long as you don't mess with their stuff, you'll be fine. Yeah. For now. That term can change.
Same with the samurai. Same with the knight. I can see the knight finally fucking saying, fuck it. I'm gonna go chop people's fucking heads off. I got a sword.
Exactly. You guys have left me alone this long. I'm done. I can't, like at March, if that armor starts walking, I'm out of that house.
I have
shovel.
I went 5 here because if you can touch me, you can hurt me.
No, please leave.
If you can touch me, you can hurt me. That was my 5. I'm gonna be at a 5 right there.
Cabin.
After the talking about the non-human element and these chairs and the potential with the samurai and even the knight, I think I'd be more inclined to say 7 here. With and that's basically given 1 point. I don't think I truly am giving the right danger score here. Even at a 7. Even at a 7.
We don't know. I don't know. Somehow I think 7's too high, but that's because nothing's really happened yet. I mean, there's been stuff with the chair and they've got it blocked off. I have a weird feeling though that blocking these chairs off for too long is going to cause a problem.
I see. That's where yes, I think taking away the opportunity to release energy with these chairs is going to turn into something even more dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think, and this is the scary part. I think it's going to spread. I think it'll spread throughout the rest of this place.
Okay. Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down here because I mean, what if that vortex that is created when people touch it and it releases that energy and that whole room is messed up for a couple days? What if that goes from tornado to hurricane?
Yeah.
And encompasses the whole place.
Yeah.
And then the other items get that energy and rage and is able to do stuff and something really nasty happens. I mean, I think the potential is there. I don't know if I still want to. I think I can meet you at a 7.
I think don't get me wrong. I think 7 is the right number.
I think 7 is good. I think if something does happen, then it'll be a 10. I think it'll go.
I think sooner rather than later, this is going to happen.
unless they do
And-
something to release the energy.
And the reason why I
Eh,
say it is because we are still bringing in tour groups. We are still bringing in people. We are still feeding energy into this place. I think sooner rather than later, there's going to be a change at Belcourt Castle, and we're going to be talking about it again.
Yeah.
Just like pretty soon, we're going to be talking about the Figueroa, because
We-
you've already went and
we-
looked and
we
already
already-
saw more shit.
There's
going on.
already more activity happening at the Figueroa. I'm not
Yes.
blaming us. I'm not saying it's our fault. But
Yes,
I'm
over
going to take
here.
the credit. I think I'm going to take credit.
I don't wanna-
Wholeheartedly, I'm going to take
I
credit.
will take credit, but I don't want to take blame. That's
Blame. I will not
there's
take
a-
blame, but I
I
will
don't
take
take-
credit.
you're welcome, but I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I just
but
made
no,
suggestions.
so yeah, Mika and Kira, if you guys do end up touring this castle, I would love to pick your brains.
Can you
Yeah.
repeat?
I'm sorry. I would love to pick your brains if you guys tour this castle and let us know what you experienced there. Because that'd be really cool. Even
So
if it is daytime.
This ended up at 89. Is that what I'm saying?
I have 88.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, 80, 88. 88.
Yep. You get 8 twice.
I love 88. Well,
Yeah.
I love performing 88.
I love my wife loves 88.
I like going for seconds. Is that what that means?
I love yes, it'll definitely be daytime.
What was your original score on this place?
My original score on this place was 82. So I went
82?
up 6
Wow.
points.
Okay, you were still quite
Bill.
a bit ahead of me. I was at a 73 original score. The non-human element. I think my big jump was the history, because I was trying not to be biased. The non-human element, because I was trying not to be biased. And but the feels, I think I talked myself up 2 points. The objects, you talked me up 2 points, because, well, not really. You just said there's a bunch of artifacts in there that I didn't account for.
I just said it, and you were like,
Yeah.
"Thank
You didn't have
you."
to talk me up. You're like, yeah, I think
Yeah,
of
I just said it, and you're like, yeah, you're right.
that. Danger level.
Sarah.
I think I talked you up a point, but
We both went up. I went up a point. My biggest jump was residual. I went up 3 points with residual because I wasn't seeing the forest through the trees, and I was looking at the intelligent completely overpowering the place, which is true, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the residual's not a 10.
yeah, it just means the intelligence is also a 10, but should be a 20 because, well, yeah.
And if
Kira,
we end up going over
Leave me
there,
alone.
I'm not bothering you. If we end up going over there, you guys, we'll hit you up, and then maybe the 4 of us can go in the castle and look around in the daytime.
We got a
And
New
then-
York trip we got to plan anyway. So
We got a New York trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a New York trip to plan, and we've got we definitely have Pennsylvania that we have to go to. But yeah, we've definitely got to go to Amityville, because that's on our bucket list, because the house wants us to be there.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna say, and this is gonna sound weird with a score of 88, that this would be a great place to cut your teeth and have a great paranormal experience.
Yeah.
Is this place haunted? Absolutely. This place is haunted.
Yes.
And the potential of it being fucking haunted is there.
It's right there. I think it's right on the cusp.
But if I was to say, is this a paranormal experience or haunted, I would say this is a great place to have
has
a
his eye on you.
paranormal experience.
I know.
I know
and
too.
that's kind of where I land at here. How do you feel about this location?
I agree word for word. I think this is a paranormally active location that you can get.
I'm with family.
Good.
I'm with family too. You can absolutely get a paranormal experience. I do not think, if you play your cards right, I don't think there's any danger now. But as far as it being haunted, yes, I think it's haunted, and I think there's a potential for danger later on. So, so that takes it from haunted to fucking haunted.
Yeah.
Is where the danger amps up. Like Penhurst, Alcatraz, Eastern State, those.
The dangerous places that we've talked about.
Chamuki House.
Still might be the most dangerous place we've ever talked about. But I would categorize this as a paranormal experience instead of calling it haunted.
I would say active location. Yeah, definitely an active location.
Dave, those are not the categories we fucking have. We have paranormal experience and fucking haunted. You're adding a whole different look. Goddamn.
I'm adding. So yeah, there's rock, paper, scissors. Well, I got paranormally active. So I'm adding that, and that beats rock. But scissors can cut through it.
I'm going Vulcan. Fuck you.
I'm going Vulcan. Wait. I'm going Vulcan.
I am Nanu.
I am going Mork.
I am Mork from York. Nanu.
I'm going Snoop Dogg.
Are you okay?
I'm going Snoop Dogg. I know. I guess I'm not okay. Yeah, no. This is paranormally, definitely a spot. Paranormal experience. I think, but I have to say, well, I have to go. Is it not paranormal? Is it active, or is it haunted? Is kind of where I'm thinking. Active or haunted. So yes, you can get a paranormal experience, but that to me means it's active.
Yes. Yeah. No. Well, that's the thing, right? Because paranormal experience, it does not mean it's not haunted. It just means you're gonna have a great paranormal experience here, without a worry of something following you home or being attacked or anything like that. Whereas when I say fucking haunted, that means you have to worry. There's a worry in this place, right? Yeah. And I don't think right now there is a worry in this place. Are there things to worry about? Absolutely.
Yes.
But
imbecile.
Don't touch anything.
But yeah. And
I said touch nothing. You are a bunch of cowboys.
You're a bunch of cowboys. I think you can go in this place, have a great paranormal experience.
Yes.
Especially for your first time dealing with the paranormal, and not have to worry about something. When I go into the haunted is when I think that you have to worry about something. Whether it be following you home, being attached, being touched or scratched. I don't think you have to worry about that here.
Or a large non-human element that could mess with you while you're there. Yeah. Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. That's where when it comes to haunted, that means in general you could be attacked, but it's human, it stays there.
When I say haunted, you should worry about going there.
Yeah.
That's when I say haunted, this is a place that you should protect yourself before even entering.
Yeah. And when I say fucking haunted, I do not recommend going.
Well, yeah, when I say fucking haunting, even if I'm stupid enough to go there, doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
And whether you have protection or not,
I'd like to say we're professionals, but we're not. So
yeah.
He told me.
Yeah, he told me too.
If I say it's haunted,
those are one of those spots where you're like, yeah, no,
I don't care what protection you have, you're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
the bench.
Yeah. And there's been quite a few fucking haunted places. that we've even talked about that were for this upcoming tournament after the break. that we're going to talk about. And there's quite a few in our first ever haunted location tournament that we talked about that were fucking haunted. In fact, one of them won it against another one that could have won it. That was fucking haunted. These are places that
pulled
when
off
you,
upset
I
after
don't
upset.
care what protection you have, you should still worry. You should still worry.
Yeah.
That's fucking haunted. Haunted is you should worry about the possibility of danger being out there. And paranormal experiences, you get to go there and have a great paranormal experience and not have to worry about nothing. And I think that's this kind of place.
Yeah, I agree. For now.
Dave will change his mind next week.
No, I mean, the location may change its mind.
Asylum.
Yeah, the for now, yeah, you're right. For now, I think there's a storm coming, and I don't think it's gonna be good. And I think it's gonna affect a lot of people because they hold a lot of tours there, and I think we're gonna see a change. And I would love to see Billy and Sean go over there and do an investigation. That's with us, so we
That's
can
the
go
rule.
live.
So we can
And
go
then we
live.
and then we can do our show like normal with Sean and Billy and score it with
We
them.
can come back and rescore it and talk about what we experienced and stuff. I'd be so down for that. But yeah, it's I kind of have some time on my hands. So, although my wife tells me, no, you're still not going anywhere. I'm like, but I got time.
Well, the bad news is,
I don't have
the good
money.
news is I won Powerball. The bad news is, I didn't win Powerball.
I didn't win Powerball.
I won $18. That's all I won.
Woohoo! So you got one
Yeah.
famous star combo.
but I'm going to play again. I'm gonna keep playing until I win it. You know what I mean?
Take the $18 and put it right back in, and
that's what I'm gonna do. In fact, I gotta take the numbers that GhostTube has given us and put them on a ticket and just do a single play and see what the fuck happens.
Yep, that has to happen. We have to do it because they keep giving us numbers. All right, I think it is time to tuck you in, sing a lullaby, and go to sleep. But yeah, next week, what do we got?
Next week, we are coming back to haunted objects.
Yes.
Let me flip that is not the paper I'm looking for.
I can go get mine really quick. I know where mine's at. Let me go get mine.
Yeah, I think mine is in my bag for work because that's where I do all my research now. Next week we're going back to haunted objects, and I think we're going. Shit, I can't remember.
We're going. We're gonna take a look. Our live stream. We're gonna look at the Terracotta Army.
That's right, Terracotta Army, and for Scare Network,
Scare Network is the Pompeian artifacts.
Yeah, Pompeii artifacts. That's right. That is right. Oh,
dude, those are gonna be some great shows.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be really fun.
Spectre.
We are a week behind. So next week on the 17th is almost a week before Dave's birthday. Actually, our show on the
but I'm not planning anything special. So
okay, so Dave's not planning anything special.
Yeah, the deal with the Zalad House will not be able to go through because I can't afford to do it now. So so
we're gonna be talking
Why
about
is she here?
51.
So Area 51 and Project Blue Book will be our last show before the break.
In which case,
and we may have special guests.
I'm saying hopefully we have a special guest for that one. Yeah. But Terracotta Army and Pompeii for next week, we are getting ready to go over to Scare Network and talk about the haunted Shanley. Please go over to Scare Network and take a look at their stuff. What they're putting out is fucking amazing.
You will see me.
I might I enjoyed the Shanley. There's a lot happening there. There's things that we're going to talk about in Brisbane reviews that I didn't like, but the haunted location itself
Location's great.
Many
is
other souls.
fucking amazing.
The location is great. Many other souls. I agree with that. The location's great. It's a great
They're talking
paranormal
about
active location.
at least 50 souls that they know about.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. So
This and it's interesting. There's some good stuff in there. I really like it. But yeah, I had some problems with the documentary. So I had to separate myself from the haunted location and just focus on the documentary.
my thing was I had to separate myself from being a fan of Billy and them guys.
Yeah.
And the documentary.
Thank you guys. Mika, Kira, we love you. But yeah, let's sign off. You and I talk backstage.
Yeah, we can talk backstage.
But you guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week on the Spirits of Spirits podcast. In the meantime, enjoy my new outro, courtesy of, well, me. And my best friend Mike, who actually bought my Camtasia license.
I love Mike.
To get me back on. He said, bro, let me just do this for you. I know you don't have a job. Let me do this. We will keep you posted on the tour. If we get a chance to go there and we have the tour set up, I will reach out to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We got to talk to you.
I would love to get I'd love to get you guys on the investigation just to watch you guys run away.
Yeah, if we're gonna be over there, we got to get a hold of
much fun.
and Kira, and we got to get a hold of Bill. Those are definitely not
It's
to
nice
say
to talk
anything
again.
bad about you, Mika and Kira, but Bill has been on.
You would definitely raise the bar as far as the looks of the investigation.
Yeah. You guys would definitely bring the
eye candy, and then we will definitely run away.
Yeah. So you guys won't hold the cameras.
It would no holding the cameras. We won't have you hold the cameras. But we'll keep it stationary. But we'll hold the cameras because you'll be in front of the camera, and then to watch you run away would be great. I would that'd be great television right there. But we got to get out of here. So for John and myself, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
It was 2.5 hours.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, because it's 2.5 hours, but great show. Loved it.
Love it.
All right, guys. Take care.
Good night, guys.
See ya.